Tip FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage, puck on. It's time to change. Test drive the award-winning range of Peugeot hybrids and fully electric vehicles at Slattery's Garage today. See slatterysgarage.ie.
Now, welcome back. And just to remind you again about that fantastic competition that is now up and running here on Tip FM, because we've teamed up with Jack Doyle's Irish Pub and Restaurant in Budapest to give you the chance to spend St. Patrick's weekend in Hungary. Now, you and a friend will enjoy flights and luxury accommodation, plus the best of what the city has to offer: sightseeing, a Danube River cruise, and a night of dinner and drinks at Jack Doyle's. It's the Irish hospitality right in the heart of Hungary. You stay at the Dorothea Hotel, Autograph Collection, one of the Autograph Collection hotels, perfectly located in the 5th district of the city. To enter, listen out for the song Budapest by George Ezra, and we'll play it 10 times before February the 12th. And when you hear it, text Budapest along with your name and your details to 083 311 3311. We will select 10 finalists, and the winner will be announced on this very programme on Friday, February the 13th. So you can celebrate St. Patrick's weekend in style with Jack Doyle's Irish Pub and Restaurant Budapest. And we did this competition last year as well, and it proved to be hugely popular with our listeners. So do listen out for that song, won't you? Now it's time for interior design, and glad to be joined in the studio by Karen Prendergast. Good morning to you, Karen.
Good morning, Brian.
Good to see you. Can we just make it clear you're not related to Phil?
We were joking.
You're asked this all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, yourself and Phil related. Not that we know of anyway. No, we're not, absolutely. But normally I'm on before her and she's on after me, and I get the people saying we don't miss a beat while you're on, and then Phil, just in case we miss anything, we love him, we love you. So anyway,
excellent
always get
stuff.
to have a chat with you.
You're going to talk to us today about paint and paint finishes, Karen.
This is just one of my loves, because I grew up in my early years working for a painting contractor, and love all things paint and wallpaper and all that. I could talk about it forever, so I try not to bore people with it, but I think today is a good time to talk about it, that if people are thinking of doing some painting during the year, that the tips today I'll give them will save them some money, first of all, and second of all, that they'll choose the right paint and maybe the right amount as well. Because when I go into jobs, and I'm on jobs for people, whether it's a one-off or a job long term, they'll say to me, look, how much paint do you think I might need for this room and that room and the whole lot, and I might write out a list of paint for them, and that's very helpful for them, and it saves them then overbuying on paint or being left with a load of paint that they don't use, and at the end have to throw it out for, and if it's not using a certain length of time.
What are the mistakes that people make? Is it the finish that they choose for the room in question? Is that
it might be that it mightn't be hard wearing enough for the traffic that they have coming in and out, or maybe they got a paint that might have been not to start off on this line, but that might have been slightly cheaper in the shop than the same brand of paint, but a different bucket or a different gallon, and it could end up being €10 cheaper. And if you had bought the more expensive one for the sake of the few bob, it would have been longer lasting or easier to wash or whatever. So I'll talk through all that while I'm going through, and I have some colours as well, so I know people are listening this morning.
Very good.
Looking for colours, so I'll go
will
through
we
that
start
as well.
with the matte emulsion then,
yeah,
Karen?
so that's perfect for ceilings and even adult bedrooms that there's not much wear and tear. It's great if you have walls that are a little bit off, or if you have lining paper or wallpaper on old old houses and they've been bad through the years. It's great for hiding imperfections. Lovely and calm, soft look, but it's definitely kept away from high traffic or messy areas for sure.
No, is that because you can't clean it properly?
You can't really clean it. Yeah, you can't really clean it. There is washable matte emulsions out there now, and there's newer paints coming on the scene all the time, but definitely a basic matte emulsion, you can't wash it.
You can't clean. I'm not quite sure about eggshell and what it is.
Yeah, so eggshell and satinwood or satin. So I have two headings here. So eggshell it's a brilliant all-rounder for living room, dining rooms and hallways. It has a subtle glow and stands off great everyday wear. Years ago, I remember we hadn't satin at the time, or satin wood at the time. When I was working in the shop, we only had eggshell, and people would come into me with damp in the corner of the bathroom, or damp in a bedroom ceiling, maybe up high. Again, years ago, we might have had vents in the walls in the houses and so forth, and I would have always sold that as as one for damp. So it's great for kitchens, it's great for bathrooms, and if you have maybe a bedroom that's very, very used with a couple of children sharing it or whatever, it's great, and it gives a low sheen, and it's great for giving a rub too. And nowadays it doesn't really have too high a shine.
Very good. And the satin, and how different is the satin?
So it depends on the brand of paint. So most brands of paint will now sell an eggshell, not to confuse people, and a satin wood or a satin. And they can be both got in water-based or oil-based. Obviously the water-based is less smell of it, it dries quicker, you can coat it better, and most of the time the satin has a slightly lesser sheen than the eggshell.
Okay.
And again, ideal for kitchens, bathrooms, children bedrooms, utility rooms, and great again, like the eggshell, where moisture or condensation is common. It's durable, wipeable, resists humidity, and is much better than any of the flatter finishes.
Right, I'm learning so much today. Now, the semi-gloss, what is that?
Again, semi-gloss could be taken nowadays as an eggshell or a satin wood, or could be called a semi-gloss. So it's got a higher shine normally than an eggshell or a satin. It's great for doors, trims, skirting boards. Again, could be used on bedroom walls if you had high condensation and some dampness there. It's tough, moisture resistant, and it's perfect for high touch areas or areas that are prone to damp.
So you can clean it, Karen?
You can clean it, you can almost scrub it.
Okay.
You can almost scrub it,
right, so it's that tough.
So it's very, very good. And the next one then will be high gloss. So we all know high gloss from years ago, of old. It's great for furniture, cabinetry, front doors, especially exterior front doors. High gloss is so durable. It's easy to wipe, it's easy to clean, but the only thing about a gloss is it shows every imperfection. So just to be careful about that normally it goes on timber work that is very, very good, and some people much prefer a high shine on their timber work. When I say that, doors, skirting boards, maybe kitchen presses or whatever. But I would say eggshell and satin wood have definitely taken over the run of things from the gloss in the last maybe 10, 15 years.
So there's a fashion in finishes as well, is there?
Absolutely.
Right, okay.
And you know, where I started off working with paint, I'm 57 now, at 18 years of age, 18 and a half, say 19 years of age, paint has come such a long way. But there's lots of paint, types of paint, and the brands have always been there, that are still there. But I suppose there's new fandangos coming every day, and there's so many things out there now that even I, when I go into some of the shops, I like to have a browse around and see what's there and what's available. And of course, lots of people with allergies now, or maybe, you know, children, they want to keep the toxins low and keep it toxin free and smell free and the whole lot. So that's all taken into account. And we're lucky enough now that we have the choices, friend, that we mightn't have had so many years ago. But the old staples are always there.
Are always there, indeed. So will we look at it room by room then? If we start with the living room, and what's ideal paint-wise for that?
Yeah, so I think a living room, you can definitely do a washable mat. I think is a great paint. You can do a satin finish in the emulsion if you want. That's really good. So I would say a washable mat.
So there's a washable mat available?
There's a washable mat, and it's probably a little bit dearer than, we'll say, a satin finish or a flat finish. But it is really worth paying the extra few bob. Remember I was saying earlier on, you might get something might cost you 10 or 15 euros extra, and it's so well worth it. So I think a living room, a washable mat or satin wood is great. So the kitchen then, you'd be looking for a washable mat again for the walls, or a satin finish. Emulsion, of course, these are emulsions.
Yes.
So that would be suitable for that. And then for your cupboards or your doors or so forth, you'd be going for an eggshell or a semi-gloss or a satin wood. Bathroom, again, I would be going for a satin wood, maybe not even a washable mat there, a satin finish. You'd need a satin finish emulsion for there, or an eggshell. If you have high condensation or humidity, you definitely need an eggshell finish on the walls there, friend.
All right. The bathroom is one that's, you have to be careful
about. Gives
a
lot of people trouble.
Yeah.
And you know, I go into a lot of houses in a year in my job, and people are saying to me, oh, I've condensation in the bathroom, or it's up in one corner, maybe at the back near the window or whatever. And I always ask the question, might sound a silly question, but it's a very real question. When somebody's having a shower or a bath, do you open the window during that and for a little while afterwards? Because even with a vent Fran, if people don't open the window ajar for a few minutes after a shower, your chances are of getting a little bit of condensation. And while we're talking about condensation, and it's not even about a paint finish, but I will go into a lot of houses, not a lot of houses, the odd house this time of the year, and they'd say to me, "Oh, come out, I'm drying clothes in my sunroom," because this time of the year, the way people have sunroom mightn't be used that much, or a spare bedroom, and I've wicket black in the room or whatever, and they'd be drying the clothes on clothes horses or whatever, and I say to them, first of all, I'd look to see if there's a vent in the wall. Second of all, then I'd say, look, you do need to keep the window ajar for some bit of the day, or keep the window open, or plug in a dehumidifier, buy yourself a reasonable dehumidifier.
In the sunroom?
In the sunroom or the spare bedroom, because it's black from condensation from drying the clothes.
Oh, from drying it. So that is the relationship
That's
there.
the relationship as well. So again, if you had a room like that, make sure that you've got a vent and it's open in the wall. Make sure that you open the window a little bit. I've said this to quite a few people this winter. Get yourself a fairly reasonably priced dehumidifier, plug it in where you're drying the clothes. That'll help with the condensation and the mould. And also use a more durable paint on the walls if you are using one of your bedrooms or a room for drying clothes. Because, this time of the year, it's something we all face.
Our own Andrew Luby loaned me one of those humidifiers one time. I couldn't believe the amount of moisture that it took.
And we'll say, under €100, I would tell anyone who's drying clothes in a room in their house, from a health perspective, from an allergy perspective, from a damp, they're worth their weight in gold. But again, for many years, none of us even knew I'm talking about myself, what a dehumidifier was. Now I do, and they're absolutely brilliant. So hallways and stairs, again, a washable mat, a satin finish, eggshell or satin wood on your stairs or your timber work. If you like glass, use glass as well. I would say myself, glass has slightly gone out of fashion now. It's not being used as much. And the bottom line, I suppose, is buy the paint finish that you can afford when you're starting out. If you're going to a paint shop and you're unsure, do you need a gallon of paint, which is 5 litres, or do you need a bucket of paint, which is 10 litres? Most shops will mix the bucket of paint from white if it's a light colour, and you'll save yourself maybe 30 or 40 euros in the paint alone just for one room. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask if it's a lighter colour to be mixed in the bucket instead of 2 gallons, and bring in your measurements and a few pictures to the paint shop, and they will help you quantify the paint that you need. Because if you store paint out in a garage, on the ground, or someplace that the frost gets at it, it kills it.
It's very interesting. So the hallway and the stairs.
Hallway and stairs, again, you want a washable paint or a satin finish paint for the walls, and again, eggshell or satin wood or glass on your timber work, skirting boards, architraves, and so forth.
And the trim and the doors?
Yeah, again, the same. Semi-gloss. I would say semi-gloss as opposed to gloss. You can go white, you can go off-whites. The colour ranges are amazing. If you find that you're using gloss and the colour, gloss tends to go a little bit yellow, white gloss over time, maybe go for an off-white.
Very good question, and I'm glad somebody wrote into us with this. When you ask Karen, do you have to put radiator paint on radiators? I put matte emulsion and it's cracking at the moment. Yeah, so your best option with a radiator is, first of all, if the radiator is there and hasn't been painted in years and years, give it a wash down, the usual, with a bit of sugar, soap and water, dry it off. And I would suggest using a primer suitable for steel or undercoat on the radiator first, and then finishing with a satin wood or an eggshell finish, and that'll give you 100% adhesion with the undercoat. It'll already be washed down, so if there's any marks or anything on it, that'll be cleaned and put on your satin or your eggshell finish. It can be water-based or it can be oil-based. Water-based will be less smelly. You'll still get the same finish and durability, but realistically, and loads of people do, because they have the mat for the walls and they put it on. It's not meant for that kind of heat. Right, but
it doesn't have to be radiator paint.
All right. Somebody else asking, when you ask Karen about my Red Deal kitchen, it was lacquered. When fitted, it needs a lifter to be refreshed. What would Karen recommend for that?
It depends on whether you're going down the road of re-varnishing it or re-lacquering it again, or if you're going to paint it. I go into so many homes. It's one of the thing that comes up a lot on one-off calls. People are painting their kitchens all day long. It is like a completely new kitchen. If that person goes into my Facebook or Instagram, they'll see before and after pictures, if they scroll down, of kitchens that have been done. Replacing a kitchen is an expensive job. Now, if you have this person has a Red Deal kitchen, if it's washed down and it's the right primer is put on it, and the knots are looked after, because with a red deal kitchen you're going to have the knots in the timber, you know,
Sure.
and that they need knotting as well. And if it's prepped right, you could have a spang new kitchen if you wanted to paint it. Other than that, it's going back to lacquering it, using a lacquer or a varnish. And what you need to do, if you are just going to lacquer or varnish it again, you need to make sure that you know the last lacquer or varnish went on, whether it was oil based or water based, because if you could put a water based on an oil base, it'll react and it'll peel off.
Okay, so you've got to be careful. So red deal, that would be a very light colour.
Yeah, like a pine kitchen.
Would it? Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah,
Okay,
for
good.
for all the world, yeah.
So to sum it up for me, then, the shinier
the shinier
the
the paint,
better.
the tougher it is. And,
Yeah.
and especially when we go to the gloss, the more imperfections it shows up. In Ireland's climate, durability and moisture resistance, I think, really matter. So choose a finish that suits both the room and your lifestyle.
Is varnishing in it all now? Do people varnish?
Oh
at
yeah,
all now?
absolutely.
Do they?
Definitely not as more painting doors and skirtings and architraves and so forth, and stairs. Painting them,
Yeah.
white or off-white has taken over almost completely. So I would say 80% varnish or lacquer. 20% varnish or lacquer, 80% paint.
Right, okay. Because I remember years ago at home, whenever you had
Everything.
wood, you'd be varnishing everything.
And I would go into the odd house, which one of the people living in the house would not want the pine or the oak or the timber painted. And I'm often called in to kind of get it over the line, maybe that they
Yes.
could have doors or a stairs or a kitchen, and the same with 20-25 years, and one in the house doesn't really want to paint it, and they're unsure that it's going to be a successful job and the whole lot. So that's a really good question, and a common ask from me the whole time.
Interesting indeed. Now you have some colours for us, and again we would urge you to Google the name that Karen gives out, and that will give you the colour.
So first of all, I'm going to start with 5 very different colours.
They're very different,
They
aren't
are
they? Yeah.
different to what I normally call out, but they're very in. So the first one is called Mallow Stem. Absolutely stunning.
What is it called again?
Colour. Mallow Stem.
Mallow Stem.
MALLOW Stem. STEM.
What would that be suitable for? What is it? Describe it for me.
I would say it's a flat mauve colour.
Okay.
So it's not in your face. I've used it in a hallway, in alcoves in a hallway, along with another colour just before Christmas. It's out of this world. So it's nearly like a deep marshmallow, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The next one is Wolfhound. So this is one is the Irish Heritage's colour, and it's kind of a very pale grey brown.
Yeah, lovely on walls.
Beautiful.
I would say, is it? Yeah.
The next one now is very in. This colour is very in for this year.
What is that?
It's called Pine Martin.
Okay.
And it's a brown.
Okay, and again, if you Google Pine Martin, the colour will come up. Now, I'm kind of surprised at this one.
Yeah, this is Dragonfly Wing. I did a house some time ago, and we did all the walls, skirtings, architraves, and built-in furniture in this colour.
Will you just describe the colour, Karen?
Absolutely stunning. I'd say a medium blue.
Medium blue.
Again, quite a flat blue. It's not in your face.
So
and it's not
what
very
would you
bright.
paint with that now?
Grey colour for walls. Could be a lovely colour for kitchen units. Beautiful in a sitting room or a hallway if you had enough light.
Okay.
Have used that a few times on jobs, and it's a stunning colour.
Right. It's not dark and miserable
No, it's
enough
not
for me,
dark
you
and
see.
miserable. Now, and we have.
Yeah,
and
that's more my
the
thing.
Last one,
Yeah,
the last one
okay.
is called Inkwell. So I would say,
Beautiful.
would you say it's navy?
Well, no,
Near
I
enough?
wouldn't go by my thoughts on this now. But you describe that as
Yeah, I would say it's near enough navy.
yeah, navy towards black as well.
It's very
isn't
nice.
It?
It is. It's
just
lovely, and it's called
gorgeous.
Inkwell. And then I have a few pictures that I brought in with me as well. And the first one is Ivory Tusk. So it's just a very deep ivory colour. Beautiful on kitchen units if you want to paint your kitchen presses and your cupboards. Also great on a wall. Lovely colour if you want a little bit of richness in a sitting room or a hallway. That's called Ivory Tusk.
Okay, it looks gorgeous.
Looks
on the
gorgeous.
photograph,
The
yeah.
next one I'm coming to
You'll
is...
put these up on your site as
yeah.
well, will you?
The next one, I actually have my front room painted in this colour. It's called Temperance. TEMPERANCE. Very pale. I went from a medium green to this colour, and this colour is stunning, but I miss my green.
Do you?
I do. It's a little bit too light for me. Much brighter, a different colour than the green, but miss my
But
green. I'm
not
a bit
as atmospheric,
I'm
is
a
it?
bit like you, and I don't mean I'm a bit like you. I kind of like a moody colour.
Yeah.
And I do miss it. But anyway, it's Temperance, and it's beautiful if you want a bright colour. The next one now is Wild Garlic. So I would call that a light greeny grey.
Yes.
stunning.
It's
Again, you can
beautiful
see
in
it in the bedroom.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's lovely and well worth a look. That's called Wild
All right,
Girl.
we have time for one more, Karen.
Yeah,
if
and
you
the
could.
next and the last one is, I'm going to do this one for a friend for you. Again, we spoke about it a few minutes ago.
It's beautiful.
Somebody's office, and it's Wolfhound.
Beautiful.
That's really PCU now, isn't it?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
it's lovely.
now.
So that's
It
called
really is.
Wolfhound.
Okay, and that colour is
That colour is a dark grey brown.
Okay, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If people want to talk to you, get advice, or talk to you about paint, even Karen,
They
how
can
can
contact
they do
me
that?
on 086 606 9009. That's 086 606 9009. And Interior Concepts, Facebook, Instagram, or my website.
All right, good to see you again, Karen. Thanks very much indeed for that. Thank you. We'll take a break. Back with more.
Tip FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage, Puckon. It's time to change. Test drive the award-winning range of Peugeot hybrids and fully electric vehicles at Slattery's Garage today. See slatterysgarage.ie.